back with you for another very interesting adventure. It's very different today. We're not out flying airplanes or fishing out in the Alaska wilderness. I have a really interesting interview.
I was going 45, 50 miles an hour when I went off that thing. It hit me in the face.
How long do you think it went from like this motion to when you stopped? Let's get in my car and head over and meet a very interesting individual who I will introduce to you shortly. Community has come forward. A lot of people have messaged me and commented saying, hey, we'd love to hear the story of what actually went down in this vehicle. What was it like? A lady reached out to me and put me in contact with the driver. I've scheduled an appointment to meet with him and talk about this crazy event. Can you imagine just driving like this down the road and then all of a sudden you're diving into a 6-foot hole, impacting the pavement, airbags come out in your face. I don't know what happens next. I think this whole thing happened in like seconds. Literally the road left the bottom of your vehicle. It sounds like a Hollywood movie, except there's one little problem. It's not a movie. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a very interesting person right here next to me. This is Joe Fedewa. And he is the, I don't know, we're gonna call him like a NASCAR driver. He's probably got NASCAR career in somewhere behind him, but he's the one who's driving this now quite famous car that's been all over the internet. And I'd like to learn, what did Joe go through driving down a morning road and all of a sudden ending facing like a 6-foot wall, all in a matter of seconds. Joe, thank you for making some time and meeting with me this afternoon. Walk me through it. What happened?
I left at 8 o'clock. From home. I'm retired, so I just thought going to town and, something to do and just go for a ride. But about 8:30, I was down on Vine, and I come over this hill. The car felt like I hit some ice, but it didn't feel like I hit ice. It felt kind of weird, but it quit right away. And a couple seconds later, it really started going, and I thought the wheel was coming off or something. And there was somebody in back of me, and he pulled off the side of the road, and I thought, it's kind of strange, but, he must hit the ice too. But, so then it straightened up, so I kept going. I should have pulled off the road too, but.
Where were you going?
Just to Freddy's.
Just going out for a morning run?
Yeah.
So the road started to move before the actual drop?
Yeah, I mean, it was like 1/8 of a mile down the road when this happened. So it straightened up, so I thought, okay, the car's okay. So I kept going. I remember just vaguely that it just got black. I mean, you used to go on the road and seeing the road ahead of you. And then all of a sudden, it wasn't there. I mean, it was like black. It was dark out. So, and then right as soon as I saw that, there's just a big bang. It went down this thing, and the airbags went off. And I had no idea what was going on. And I never been in a car with airbags that go off. But the steering wheel one come off and hit me in the face. But the ones in the dash, it picks the dash up, and it broke the windshield. So I couldn't see anything. I mean, there was crevices that were like 10 feet deep, and it missed all of them. And there were like 2 or 3 steps, so about a foot each one, and it went down the steps. But if those steps would have been the other way, it would have hit them. So, and I seen this wall up ahead at the end where the road dropped. I started slowing down, and I stopped there, and then I figured it was an earthquake then because I saw the road up here. And
one thing I noticed is when you took that dive down. Any idea how deep you think that was?
People said they were like, 6 feet. But
that's what I thought it was, about 6. Does
that
sound right?
I was going 45, 50 miles an hour when I went off that thing. Like, I didn't steer away from these crevices or anything. I just held on to the steering wheel, and it ended up where it ended up.
I noticed when you impacted the ground that then there were at least 2 or 3 more hop, skips, and jumps where you ended up on that nice little like aircraft carrier looking pad.
It's the only place that was level.
You weren't trained to like handle situations like this?
I should have got a pilot's license though when they started flying.
Maybe the FAA can issue Joe a pilot's license.
Yeah.
You don't think you applied the brake or anything?
I didn't know what was going on. I had no idea.
Did the airbag hit you like actually in the face?
The one in the steering wheel hit me in the face, and the other two picked up the dash, and then the dash stayed up there. It was halfway up the window, so
Like
there wasn't a forward impact. It just went down.
And this is the car right here.
This wheel is bent.
How did they get it out of that hole?
So I thought they were going to have a crane and lift it right out. but,
Yeah. How long have you lived in Alaska?
7 years. We came up from Michigan.
7 years.
Been here for 3 years.
Any kind of support that you've been offered?
Just the police that came, when it was okay.
Responded? How long did it take for them to respond?
They were there probably in 10 minutes. 5-10 minutes.
Was that Wasilla PD or state troopers?
State police.
State troopers?
Yeah.
Thank you, state troopers. How did you go from impact to complete stop without falling into one of those crevices or a hole?
After I started looking back at all these, the videos I saw on TV and stuff, and seeing people walk back through there, and there were guys down there in the crevice, they're like 10 feet deep. I couldn't see anything.
Were you just along for the ride?
I was just going along for the ride, yeah. And
did you slam on the brakes?
so when I saw the wall, then I just slowed down and stopped.
Wow. How long do you think it went from like this motion to when you stopped?
I don't know, a few seconds.
Did you think an earthquake was taking place?
I thought I was going down. The big bang was when the whole thing went down. I thought the road came down the back of me. I didn't know it came down in front of me.
If you had to go through this again,
If I had been more experienced with earthquakes, I would have pulled off the side of the road.
so we noticed that this other guy, there was a truck that had UTI on the side of it, and this driver had stopped.
He tried to stop, but he didn't. At least he didn't go over the edge. His front tires went over, and that was it.
Good job to that driver. Almost in time, but certainly in time for...
That's where the road went down like 16 feet. If he'd have kept going and did like I did, it could have been really bad because
What was steering the car like?
just hanging on. Split second. It was nothing to do with me.
That looked like incredible skill.
That's what I want to tell you. It was not, because I couldn't see anything out the windshield. And it happened so quick. I wasn't steering away from crevices. I was just in a daze, really.
Do you think some kind of higher power was watching over you?
God watches over all of us. So I'm the most unworthy of anybody. It's a no-brainer. God watches out for us, and I know He loves us.
Absolutely.
We don't deserve it, but
By His grace, we're here today, right?
we are.
That's amazing. I don't know Joe. It's the first time I've ever met him, and it's just nice to see that our whole community is just full of good people.
Yeah, the girl showed me on YouTube or something. Somebody put one on with the Dukes of Hazzard car flying through there. There he goes!
What's the plan for the Buick now?
I'm gonna get rid of it. It needs I started up yesterday, and I drove it down the road a little ways to see, and it definitely pulls off the side. And then when I got back, the radiator was leaking, and the brake goes down too far, so it's probably broke a brake line. And I don't work on cars. I'm a carpenter, so.
Is somebody going to pay to replace this car, or can you afford to buy another car?
No, I just writing up an ad today, put it on Craigslist, and
Sell it off?
I can't fix it.
It's so nice to be able to see really a good ending to what could have been just a
It could have
disaster.
been. That's what the next day when I started watching those videos, and then I started getting butterflies. I thought, man, that could have been bad.
That could have been really, really bad. Wow. I believe everything happens for good. A great opportunity for something good to happen to this situation. And you know what? We're going to leave it up to the community to decide what that is. I believe that when we are in trouble as a community, when things go wrong, it just gives us opportunities to help each other out. The folks driving the ambulances, the fire trucks, thank you so much for working around the clock, the overtime hours you're putting into responding to every situation, to the utility companies dealing with power outages, gas leaks. I mean, the list goes on and on. Thank you for rolling up your sleeves and not being afraid of getting your hands dirty. The men and women in the police force, the state troopers, thank you guys for blocking off the roads. Sometimes we have to take a step back to take two forward.
Yep.
So I think this might be the step back, and let's just see what the two forward are. I know how to get a hold of you. You know how to get a hold of me. And if the community has any questions that I didn't answer, please write them in the comments below. Share this video. Let's share this with the country to show them that, hey, in Alaska, when things really hit the fan, we all just bind together and get tough and show that toughness and do whatever we need to do to resolve our challenges and difficulties in the time of need. Thank you very much for that, Joe. Hopefully the community will be able to learn a few things from it. When your car starts to swerve or shake, stop and do a safety check.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Pleasure
you.
to meet you. I gotta show you something cool. I'm seeing our military at work monitoring the situation still, just to make sure nothing else might be going on. Look at this. Look at this scene right here. That was awesome. Absolutely stunning. So, had a quick word with the military folks, and basically they were out doing earthquake damage surveys and basically checking on things that may not be visible from the road systems we've got here with the local assembly here from our, you know, guys, we have so much to be thankful for. Look at this wonderful military we have who can respond on at moment's notice when trouble hits, when a difficult situation occurs. We've got men and women who are ready to do whatever it takes. We have a government willing to do whatever it takes to take care of us, making sure that our communities are safe, any challenges are eliminated, and we recover and don't allow this earthquake situation in any way to disrupt us more than it has already. Amazing. Thank you guys. Thank you to the military for being out there. I've been thinking, how many of us out there would be willing to help Joe out? To me, he came across as a really humble man. We as a community could do something about it. I'm thinking of starting a GoFundMe page for him and putting some money in. But it sounds like that car is not getting repaired and not getting replaced. So I would love to see Joe see the good of the situation. I think we have an opportunity to show good. And anybody else out there willing to join me on that? I'd be awfully excited to be able to surprise Joe with something unexpected. And we live in a community that just comes together shoulder to shoulder when there's a problem. It makes any situation turn from a bad situation to a good situation. Thanks for watching the video. I look forward to reading your comments below. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. Thank you for joining. If you like adventure, get to see more of our beautiful state in Alaska, you found the right place. Adventure more and crave life.